What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today. And in this video, I have episode 101 of Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing my Gemini Jets 1 to 400 scale Japan Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-90. Here we go with the next 100 episodes, starting now. I've got a bit of a different intro to work with, so let me know what you think. And let's go and do this. This is one of the many oddball Gemini Jets releases that caught my attention when it got announced. This was in the August batch, and I thought, why not? I like a Mad Dog in my collection, so I figured, let's get this one. And it turned out really nice, and you'll see the China Northern example in a future retro review sometime down the line, probably in early 2026. So to start off, we have the Gemini Jets box. No 25th anniversary insignia, as a lot of the more recent releases have been dropping them, as I'm assuming most of these planes have been made after the fact. But otherwise, it's the standard Gemini box image of the plane. There's the JAL logo. This is they call the Rising Sun livery from around the early to mid-2000s. There's the inside with the plastic cradle. And then in here we have the aircraft information, so you can pause to read that. But then otherwise, this is a 2025 release, as mentioned. Boeing license. I don't see anything about Japan Airlines, though I think with this type of branding, they're not going to care that much. But as I've established before, not a whole lot of collectors really care about licensing anyway, so it is what it is. But alas, it is very nice. Item number on this is GJJAL 1719. Let's bring the model into view here, and like I said, it's a very oddball choice for Gemini Jets to make, just because they usually wouldn't tap into this territory for their releases. But now that they've done this and the China Northern MD-90 as of recording this video, there is a good probability that they might do a couple more subjects yet. But either way, it's nice to get more MD-90s within the space, and since it's a type that didn't have too many operators, might as well take advantage of what few there are and make some interesting subjects. So go ahead and start off with the front of the aircraft. People talk about the MD-90 from JC Gemini being a lot better than their MD-80, and it definitely shows here in the nose profile, but as I've established before, I don't really mind the discrepancies and the deficiencies with the MD-80 mold from these two manufacturers, so I'll take what I can get for Mad Dogs. Starting off, we have the nose cone, cockpit windows, a little eyebrow up there, fleet code on the nose gear door, along with the nose gear itself. The strakes, which are very hard to see on this, the molding is not particularly sharp, so it's very hard to see the strakes, but you can kind of see the indentation where they are at. L1 door, there's a little One World sticker there, along with the flag of Japan. Then we have the one lone antenna on this model right above the JAL logo, and then the Japan Airlines titles above the window line. And you have a bit of a dark gray belly coming into play on this sort of off-white color that they have on the fuselage here. There's the overwing exits. Registration is Juliet Alpha 002 Delta. MD-90 printed under there. And then you have the UNICEF logo on the V2500 engines. And there is the Rising Sun tail. Looking great. And then on the other side, there's some luggage doors on this side, two up front, and then one just ahead of the engines. And then part of the MD-90 titles are obscured by the engine there, so if you were to have sat on this side right in the, what would that be, like the last two windows, your view is going to be obscured by those engines. And then on this side, the window line is, well, it's about the same. Those last two windows there, again, are pretty much blocked. If you take those seats, maybe even three even, so if you took those seats, all you'd see was the engine. You just hear the roar of that. But, you know, for an Av Geek, the best seat would have been like right in this window there, in that area, to get the best engine view and a good wing view as well. There's also the screwdriver tail cone, which was standard on all of the MD-90s, since the later MD-80s had them. Underneath, you've got the dark gray belly, Gemini Jets logo stand hole, and the registration printed on the underside of the wings, and on the top with a little red dot to signify the flag of Japan on that side, and the overwing exits along with the various details for the wings. Flaps, slats, speed brakes, etc. Overall, a very nice model from Gemini Jets, and I really hope that they do more of these just oddball Mad Dogs, because it is fun to see what they can do with it. Obviously, the MD-80 has its deficiencies, but the MD-90 is a little stronger, minus a little bit of a bulge, which, I mean, you can't really even tell, so I don't really bother making remark of that. but it is there for some nonetheless. So now let's spend the time to take a look at the real-life aircraft's history. She first flew on October 1st, 1997, and she was delivered to Japan Air System in December of that year. So was in Japan for the first part of her career, but going to the Japan Air System that eventually became Japan Airlines Domestic starting in 2004. So the rebranding took place there. And then in October 2006, the domestic side of the operations merged into the main Japan Airlines, so she went there, keeping the same registration, Juliet Alpha 002 Delta, so this is when the model would be depicted as such. After that, Japan Airlines got rid of this specific MD-90, and she went to the US to fly for Delta starting in December 2012, registered November 942 Delta November. So there's a non-zero chance that I have spotted this specific aircraft, not realizing that it was a former Japan Airlines jet. She flew the rest of her career with Delta for another 7 more years, put into storage in 2019 ahead of the type's retirement, which was accelerated because of the pandemic, and the MD-80 and 90 were retired in June of 2020. And that'll do it for this episode of Retro Reviews, number 101 in the series. Very excited for what's next, as there's going to be more exciting retro subjects to review here on the channel. Hopefully a lot more stuff from East Asia and all that. As I talked about in a previous video a while back, I'm starting a big East Asia collection, so there will be some very fun models joining the fleet, and especially in the retro department, as my budget allows. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.